In September 2019, Zhang Qi, party secretary of Haikou City, Hainan Province, was investigated by the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, CCDI, of China for serious violations of party discipline. From here, one of the largest corruption scandals in China's history was exposed. Once dubbed the most honest man in Hainan, Zhang Qi was unmasked as the owner of 13.5 tons of gold and hundreds of billions of yuan in secret accounts. How could a provincial-level official amass a fortune surpassing the local GDP? Who protected him? And why did everything come to light? Some say, poverty limits our imagination, but the truth about Zhang Qi goes beyond any theory ever conceived. This is the story of a two-faced man, from an anti-corruption hero to a secret gold tycoon. Subscribe and follow to uncover the full secrets buried for years that shocked not only China, but also the global financial world. Case background: Hainan, China's famous tourist island. At 9 a.m. on September 6, 2019, the official website of the CCDI quietly posted a short announcement. Zhang Qi, party secretary of Haikou City, standing member of Hainan Provincial Party Committee, is under investigation for suspected serious violations of discipline and law. A cold notice, no image, no explanation. But for Chinese political observers, it was the first bell of collapse. Newsrooms buzzed. Political reporters hurriedly reviewed Zhang Qi's file. A seasoned leader, long considered honest, known for his tough anti-corruption speeches, with no prior scandal. At first, the public thought it was just an internal disciplinary matter. But they didn't know that behind his model mask lay a massive hidden fortune underground. Literally. For more than a decade, Zhang Qi used his power as a VIP pass into lucrative projects. Through approvals, embezzlement, and profit sharing, he turned public investments into personal cash flow. Hainan residents saw flooded roads, overcrowded hospitals, and leaking schools, but didn't understand why the special economic zone remained stagnant. While they waited for reform policies, Zhang Qi stood before crowds preaching about integrity, even as beneath his feet was a vault packed with tons of gold, locked by secrets and lies. Everything might have remained a secret forever, if not for an internal audit at the end of February 2019. Specifically, during an internal inspection in Tuiying County, Hainan, an unexpected name came under scrutiny. Wang Yetian, former deputy secretary of the county. Initially, it was a routine financial audit, but within days, irregular spending in the county's budget emerged. A primary school project was inflated 4 times over. Beneath the polished paperwork were dozens of money transfers, eventually funneling into an account under a relative of Wang Yetian. He was immediately summoned. After 36 hours of interrogation, he began to show signs of breaking down. An internal memo circulated, expand the investigation toward higher-level protection. In April 2019, Wang Timing, deputy mayor of Sanya, was next under investigation. Same old pattern. A new stadium project, skyrocketing costs, yet construction stalled for over a year. While searching Wang Timing's home, authorities found contracts with indirect signatures from Zhang Qi, then party secretary of Haikou. An emergency meeting was held at CCDI. Investigators pored over financial trails and discovered a chilling coincidence. All major schemes led back to one name, Zhang Qi. After tracing him, CCDI didn't act immediately. They knew confronting a seasoned tiger like him could alert a deeply entangled power network. Zhang Qi was the classic official who preached morality while stealing from the treasury. The media praised him as a model leader, close to the people, anti-corruption, reform-oriented. News reports regularly showed him inspecting projects, shaking farmers' hands, sitting at meetings under banners reading discipline, transparency, integrity. But CCDI knew that perfect mask was backed by a sophisticated asset dispersal system. Zhang Qi held no major bank accounts under his name. They uncovered over 40 scattered accounts in local banks under names of his wife, cousins, private secretary, even a maid who was gifted 8 apartments. Every transaction was meticulously disguised. Real estate investments under shell companies, small fragmented transfers, gold bars stored in multiple locations before being consolidated at his private residence. CCDI formed a 24/7 surveillance team. Every transfer, contract, and villa was tracked. A massive network gradually revealed itself like a spider web. But even with the full asset map, No one expected that the biggest discovery lay right beneath Zhang Qi's feet, sealed in concrete, guarded by absolute confidence in power. On the day the search warrant was signed, CCDI held a top-secret meeting. All personal devices were confiscated. The raid was codenamed Confidential 077. At dawn one early September day, unmarked vehicles left the CCDI headquarters. No sirens. They worked in silence. Zhang Qi's villa was on the outskirts of Haikou, in a high-security civilian zone. The main door was made of limwood, equipped with 4-direction cameras, and surrounded by 30 centimeters thick walls. The investigation force was divided into 3 groups, one for securing the perimeter, one for technical suppression, and one for infiltration. When the door opened, they stormed in like a crack, tearing through the wall of power. Zhang Qi was still asleep. Hidden surveillance footage showed him open his eyes, sit up suddenly, but say nothing. He only glanced at the built-in wardrobe at the end of the room. After 20 minutes of searching, a technician noticed a freshly cemented patch on the living room floor. Beneath the tiles was a 300-kilogram iron lid, locked with a 3-layer encryption mechanism. When the lid was lifted, flashlight beams revealed another world. A deep basement lined with stainless steel shelves, stacked with gold bars, gold ingots, and sealed boxes. The mass of assets was so heavy it shook the house's structure. Nearby was a safe filled with financial records, bank transaction lists, and real estate contracts. A faintly printed document bore red seals from various departments, evidence that he manipulated the entire system. Preliminary valuation: 13.5 tons of gold, 26.8 billion yuan spread across 40 accounts. Dozens of coastal villas, Rolls-Royce and Maybach cars, and piles of land use certificates as tall as those of a major enterprise. Every detail was a blow to the public's trust. As investigators turned the pages in the safe, they realized they were not just facing an embezzler, but an architect of a system designed to legally drain the country. Zhang Qi didn't act alone. He built a diamond network: old friends, loyal underlings, connected business people, and even department-level leaders, each one a link in the profit-sharing game. Investigative documents showed the largest procurement packages in Hainan all passed through Zhang Qi's hands. He personally selected trustworthy companies in exchange for anonymous shares, free villas, or offshore accounts. Public land was transferred at low prices, then resold a year later for many times more. The profit margins silently flowed into black funds under the names of his wife, children, and mistresses. Provincial economic reports remained dazzling: growth, investment attraction, modernization, while the people lived among unfinished buildings and decaying infrastructure. Worse still, Zhang Qi once led anti-corruption campaigns, appeared on talk shows, gave strong speeches about hunting tigers and swatting flies. He turned justice into a mask. In a 2017 speech, he said, "No one stands above discipline. Anyone who's corrupt will be the first punished, even myself." And indeed, he was punished, but only after stealing the nation's treasure. CCDI concluded Zhang Qi was the mastermind, the architect of provincial-level corruption. With every signature he put down, another slice of public trust was carved off like a thin piece of the budget cake. No one is born corrupt, but unchecked power, given long enough, can bend any morality, even that of a former symbol. Zhang Qi started small, directing a bidding process, interfering in a project, subtly suggesting to a company to cooperate for mutual development. Everything flowed smoothly, and no one monitored him. At the time, Hainan was a rapidly developing special economic zone, flush with budgets and flooded with projects. Amid the chaos of reform, Zhang Qi quietly built his own mini-kingdom, where he was king, and the oversight systems were just gatekeepers. It wasn't just financial manipulation. Zhang Qi also planted trusted aides in key roles like district chairmen, department heads, and planning officials, each one absolutely loyal to the underground regime he created. Once the network stabilized, greed knew no bounds. He no longer shared profits, he seized it all. In annual evaluation reports, Zhang Qi consistently received excellent ratings, praised for his good ethics, outstanding performance, and strict management. In reality, his abuse of power had been reported before. However, all officials who raised suspicions were reassigned, forced into early retirement, while complaint letters were buried under thousands of administrative documents. So how did Zhang Qi build such an empire? What did he go through? Every journey has a beginning. Zhang Qi was born in March 1961 in Shou County, Anhui Province, China. He held a master's degree in business administration and 2 engineering degrees. He was smart, eloquent, and knew how to gain trust. After graduating in 1981, Zhang Qi didn't pursue business or engineering, but chose to work in the Communist Youth League. A choice of calculation rather than idealism. After 7 years of training, Zhang Qi left the Youth League and entered the state economic apparatus, becoming deputy director of a coal mining company under the Ministry of Coal Industry, a lucrative sector at the time. In 1988, Hainan was upgraded to a special economic zone. China launched the 100,000 Talents Initiative, and Zhang Qi quickly saw opportunity. A new land, new power, and no one knew your past. In Hainan, he began as director of the Office of Industry and Commerce. From there, he climbed steadily, using reform programs to insert himself into the power structure. In 1997, he became deputy director of the Provincial Department of Industry and Commerce, then shifted to disciplinary inspection, where he gained the power to judge others and eliminate anyone in his way. Over the next 2 decades, Zhang Qi maneuvered through key posts: deputy secretary, deputy mayor of Sanya, director of tourism, party secretary of Danzhou. Each role was a rung on the ladder. Each reassignment of a rival became his stepping stone. In September 2014, he joined the standing committee of the Hainan Provincial Party. A month later, he became party secretary of Sanya. By November 2016, he took control of Haikou, the capital of the special zone where money and power intersected. From the outside, it looked like a model success story of reform. But from within, it was a perfect blueprint of someone who learned to exploit every loophole, turning an entire province into his backyard. One day before his arrest, Zhang Qi still presided over the Hainan Youth Talent Conference. His suit was crisply ironed, camera flashes flickered, and the press recorded him under a bold slogan: "I'm planting fig trees, waiting for golden phoenixes to feast on the fruit." That image, along with his symbolic speech, appeared on the front page of the Haikou Daily on the morning of September 5th. No one, not even those sitting beside him, knew it would be the last time they'd see Zhang Qi as a leader. Behind the political scenes, the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, CCDI, had been tracking him for a long time. For many years, he built the image of Hainan's tourism patron, open-minded reformer, the man who brought Miss World 2007 and the 2016 International Maritime Tourism Expo to the island province. Under the spotlight, he was a symbol of progress, personally praised by President Xi Jinping. But behind the scenes, the CCDI had collected enough evidence to bring the entire stage crashing down. Wang Yetian, Zhang Qi's loyal subordinate, was arrested in February 2019. Then came Wang Timing, deputy mayor of Sanya, who was caught in the investigation in April. Both men collapsed under closed-door interrogations. From scattered testimonies, investigators pieced together the puzzle, a picture that pointed squarely to Zhang Qi. Strangely, Zhang Qi didn't flee. He showed no signs of fear. On the contrary, he appeared more frequently in the media, gave speeches, cut ribbons, and attended conferences, as if trying to craft an untouchable image. Observers at the time were suspicious. Some independent journalists began to notice the excess in how Zhang Qi portrayed himself. But no one had concrete proof, and he remained the big tiger no one dared to touch. But no matter how great the power, it cannot defeat the truth. On September 6, 2019, the CCDI officially announced Zhang Qi was under investigation for serious violations of party discipline and the law. After the September 6 announcement, Zhang Qi's name vanished from media silently but completely. No more images, no titles, no government profile. Articles that once praised him were deleted. His televised speeches were erased from archives. The media called this phenomenon a digital erasure. From a public figure who appeared weekly on TV, he became a name forbidden from being mentioned in any official forum. No indictment, no public trial. But everyone knew what it meant. According to Caixin, Zhang Qi was charged with bribery, serious violations of party discipline, and abuse of power for personal gain. A heavy sentence, but the duration was not disclosed. Political experts noted, given the scale of the case, its complexity, and the immense assets involved, Zhang Qi was almost certain to face life imprisonment or a suspended death sentence, depending on the level of his cooperation. Anonymous sources in the prosecution sector revealed he has confessed and provided valuable information, but that won't save him from a severe penalty. In internal documents, Zhang Qi was categorized as a master manipulator of the local level system, a target to be thoroughly punished as a warning in the anti-corruption campaign. But unlike many other public cases, Zhang Qi's trial was not televised. No public opinion, no outside witnesses, only silence, as if the system wanted to bury the case deep, like the gold vault he once hid. From a man who once stood before tens of thousands, Zhang Qi ended his journey of power within 4 sealed walls. No shackles, no farewells, just the title, the official with the largest known illicit fortune in modern Chinese history. And even though his face no longer appeared on television, the name Zhang Qi remained a haunting presence in internal meetings, a stark reminder that unchecked power can consume an entire province and the soul of the one who wields it. This video concludes here. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.